Hey brother! Guys, as you may know, me and Ben recently took a trip down to Disney World for a little R&R. That's run and ride, by the way. Seconds are minutes when it comes to getting in line first, and I do not like waiting. Also, I am just still exhausted. Committed to that one, don't regret it. But naturally, with Toy Story 4 just right around the corner, we had to go to Toy Story Land and try and get as hyped as possible, which I personally did by defeating Ben in Toy Story Mania. Haha, Jay wins again. I don't think even one person is still rooting for me on the Jay vs. Ben's. It would not surprise me if at this point he was just losing on purpose just to maintain a fan base. Not that he has to try very hard. But anyway, while you're there, you can see them building the new Star Wars land area. So when we got home, I got on Google Maps to see if you could see the construction from above, but instead I found something way better. Toy Story Land's hidden Easter egg game. Whenever you hear about Disney World, you also inevitably hear about the magic that happens in the park. And when they say that, what they mean is just that unique experience, or that feeling that of all the people in the park, something crazy happened just to you. You, of all people. What are the odds? And I know that sounds silly, but literally every time I'm there, stuff like that does happen. Like my son Luke meeting Mickey and Minnie for the first time and him giving Minnie a little kiss, oh my God, I almost cried. The look on my dad's face when a pandemonium of parrots just took off right over our heads, that was magic. Actually, if you want to see the video of our full trip down to Disney World, you can check it out on my vlog by clicking the card. But I bring this up because while I expect stuff like that to happen at the park, I don't often expect the magic of Disney World to follow me home. But this is one of those rare instances where it did. When I, someone who hunts Pixar Easter eggs for a living, stumbled into a secret Toy Story Land Easter egg hunt on Google Maps? No way! Here's how it works. Like any Google Street View situation, you can drag your little person to anywhere in Toy Story Land and then just click around to navigate your way throughout the park. But as you click your way through Toy Story Land, you're going to want to keep your eyes very open because Disney has gone through and hidden a bunch of Easter eggs in their photos. And if you don't know what you're looking for, they can be kind of hard to spot. For example, the first one I stumbled upon was this one right here, this pair of peculiar Pixar parasols from the Pixar short, The Blue Umbrella. Now, these umbrellas caught my eye for a couple of reasons. First, because I love The Blue Umbrella, and besides Lava, it is probably my favorite Pixar short. Because what's better than an umbrella finding love? Literally only one thing. A volcano. But more importantly, my bigger question about these two umbrellas is where did they get those umbrellas? Seriously, I love that short, and I have gone on the hunt several times to buy that exact umbrella because it just seems like a really obvious piece of merchandise they should be making. Right? But no, I dare you to try and find it. You won't, but go ahead and try. And do you know why? Because it's not for sale. Not really. The Blue Umbrella joins a rare class of Pixar items that, similar to these Luxo balls, can only be purchased in the Pixar Studios gift shop on site in Emeryville, California, which is a store inside of a place you can only enter if you've been invited. So, unless you've been there in person, your only hope is, I guess, eBay. In fact, you can read all about it on danthepixarfan.com, link in the description. And actually, we know Dan and reached out to him and asked him about the Blue Umbrella, and he said that of his vast Pixar collection, it is the rarest thing he owns. And yet, there it was, just perfectly posing with the red one. No, something was definitely very fishy about that. I just didn't know what yet. I was astounded because they're so rare, but at the same time, I didn't think too much about it because, like me, you might be thinking, well, of all places, you're at Toy Story Land. If you're gonna have someone with really creative or even exclusive Pixar items, this is probably the place you're gonna see them in the wild. So if you're wondering, does that count as an Easter egg? Yes, it totally does. But I agree, you have a good point. A point that threw me off the scent for a while. See, normally when you're using Street View on Google Maps, you're going down an actual road or through an actual town, and most of the photos have been provided by Google themselves and their crazy cars with the 360 cameras on top. But that's not the case inside of Disney World. There, all the photos are just from Disney themselves or from people who brought 360 cameras with them inside the park and took their own photos. And initially, I wasn't tuned into this, so everything just looked like happy accidents or otherwise unintentional. Someone wearing a Pixar shirt could just be a regular customer wearing a Pixar shirt. But once I realized that Disney themselves were uploading the photos, the hunt was on. Any single picture might have just been innocuous, but the fact that the pattern exists across so many photos tells me that this was absolutely intentional, a hidden game waiting to be discovered. But finding them is not super duper easy due to the just nature of a 360 degrees camera. Not only do you have to click around the park to specifically find a photo that was uploaded by Disney, but when you do, you then have to click all the way around, up and down to see if they hid something. And so, naturally, we did that on every single photo. We were rewarded fairly early upon entering the park with this guy right here sporting his Lightning McQueen number 95 t-shirt watching the Slinky Dog Dash ride. You might think, couldn't that just be some random guy? But the fact that Disney uploaded this and he just happens to be standing all alone in a prime position to watch the roller coaster makes me think otherwise. Just a little further into the park, there is another one standing next to possibly the most famous in-movie Easter egg in Pixar, the Luxo Ball. But it's this guy standing in the Sid shirt. Totally a plant, totally an Easter egg. Notice how they try and fool you by keeping him standing there as they move to take other photos. But, of course, if he was just a guy standing there, he'd have moved. Next up, if you travel down the path towards the exit of Toy Story Mania, you can find Nemo on this girl's backpack. Get it? Because that's the name of the... You get it. And if you travel even further down that path, there is a double whammy. First off, this is where you can find the double Instagram walls, which in and of themselves are sort of an Easter egg of the park. One is a giant checkerboard and one looks like it is made out of used popsicle sticks. Hashtag walls of Disney. Trust me, it's a thing. But if you look at the two guys utilizing the walls, you can spot two more Easter eggs, one of which, if you weren't sold on this idea yet, totally confirms that this is an Easter egg hunt. Because it is none other than A113, which I am sorry is no accident. A113, in case you don't know, is the classroom number at the California Institute for the Arts, where many of Pixar animators first started their studies, and it appears in every single Pixar movie except Monsters, Inc. Heading back into the park though, if you flip around that same photo, you can spot another Easter egg on the back of the phone of the guy taking the photo. His pop socket is hiding the Luxo Ball. This is kind of a big one because much like A113, the Luxo Ball appears in pretty much every single Pixar movie. And it's easy to think of it as a Toy Story Easter egg because Andy does have one of these balls, but actually it is a nod to the very first Pixar short ever, Luxo Jr., which also introduces the lamp that hops on the eye at the beginning of every movie. Alright, now those were pretty easy to spot, but from here on out they get a little bit trickier, and I'm not even sure we have found all of them yet. But for the next one, let's head over towards the bathrooms. Just outside, sitting on a bench, you can spot a girl playing Ernesto de la Cruz's famous guitar from Coco. We can only hope that she is not about to be transported into the world of the dead, and really double super hope that she is not as bad at playing the guitar as me. Actually, my favorite souvenir from our trip to Disney World just now was from Mexico in Epcot, and it was this mug. It's a Calveras and it has cool paint on it, but actually it's my favorite because it's the one that has coffee in it. And that brings us back to our final Easter egg in Toy Story Land, or at least the final one we have found so far. If you make your way over to the alien swirling saucers, it is easy to miss because the sun is heavy, but lurking as it always is BNL. Which of course is the company that eventually takes over the whole Earth in WALL-E. And there you go guys, every Easter egg we've been able to find in the park so far, proving I think that Disney and or Pixar will go to any length to hide an Easter egg for us. What's particularly crazy about this though is that after clicking around a little bit more, it became apparent that Toy Story Land is actually the only park in Disney World that has the Street View feature yet. So really we got pretty super lucky that we stumbled into it. But really what that means is that now we get to be on the lookout for them to add more photos to the other parks and to see if there are Easter eggs in those photos. And like, hey, Disney World, I'm just saying, if you need help hiding Easter eggs in other parks, that sounds super fun and we would super love to help with that. Like, if everyone watching this video just wants to tweet at them and say the Carlin brothers should be allowed to help, I mean, this is their Twitter handle. And as for Toy Story Land, I feel somewhat confident that there's got to be a few that we still miss, so I encourage you to go in there and see if you can't find any more. Also, pro tip, wish I'd known this ahead of time. Instead of just clicking around the park, you can specifically just see which photos Disney World has uploaded and just click through from there. That'll definitely speed you along. So far, we haven't found anything from Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Ratatouille, or Inside Out, so these all seem like pretty good places to start. Good luck! In case you're wondering what kind of coffee I'm drinking out of that skull, it is none other than Carlin Brothers coffee, which you can subscribe to today and save. It also comes in decaf, and we just launched hot chocolate, available now at carlinbrotherscoffee.com. Guys, thanks so much as always for watching today's video. Please remember to like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Pixar action from us. If you want to see Ben and I's full trip down to Disney World, you can check out this video right here, or if you want to see all of the physical Easter eggs in Toy Story Land, you can check out this video right here. But Ben, that's all I got for you today, man. I will see you in another life, bro.